In this video, I'm going to show you how to sketch trig graphs on a graphical calculator. Now, the first question we're looking at is asking us to sketch sine x. So on the calculator, I want to go into the graph mode, which is number 5, and type in the function that I want. So I've got sine, and this is my x button here. It's really important I use this one, and then I press execute. Now, the range we've been given is 0 to 360 degrees, so we must check that the calculator is in degrees mode. So if I do shift and then menu, which takes me to the setup, I can go down until I get to the angle and make sure it says degrees. Now, often when you first press execute, the graph won't be what you're expecting because you've got to tell it what axes you'd like. We control the axes in F3, which is V window, and some of their standard options across the bottom do include a trig option, which is F2. So I'd always start by pressing that, and then we can change the x min and max to what we want for the particular question. So I want the x minimum to be 0 and the maximum to be 360, and then when I press execute again, this time it should give me the graph that I require. Now, using the G-solve button, which is F5, there are lots of functions that I might want. So I might want to know the root. So this will tell me everywhere it crosses the x-axis. So it crosses at 0, 0, 180, 0, and 360, 0. If I press across again, it won't go any further because I've set the range up. If I do G-solve, I might want to know the maximum, which is 90 and 1. Or I might want to know the minimum point, which is 270 and minus 1. If there were multiple minimums or maximums, again, I can just use the across arrows to get to them. If I go back into G-solve, on the second page, so if I press F6, you've got Y and X calculations. So it might be that I want to calculate what Y is when X is 45. So if I type that in, it will tell me when X is 45, Y is 0.707. So it can give me various values. On the second question we're going to look at, this time we're sketching cos squared theta plus 0.1. It's really important that when we type this into the calculator, we type it in as cos theta in a bracket and the squared on the outside. So if I go and change this, I'm going to put the bracket and cos. You'll find that it will still appear as x, which is absolutely fine. And we want squared plus 0.1. Now in this question, we're actually working now in radians. So we need to go to shift and setup, back to angle, and change it to radians. It's important that you check this every time. If I click draw, again, I'm not going to get the graph that I desire straight away because I need to change the range. So back to V window, which is F3, tell it again that I'm doing a trig graph, so it puts it into something sensible to start with, and then I can change my minimum to minus pi and my maximum to pi. It will always turn them into decimals, which is absolutely fine. When I repress execute, this time it's drawn the graph that I've requested. It might be that I want to know this time where it crosses the y-axis. So in G-solve, I've got y-intercept, so it tells me those values. It might be, again, that I want to do a calculation. So I might want to do G-solve and tell me what x is when y is 0.5. And it gives me this value first, but there are multiple ones, so I can press across to find all the different values that I might require. Again, the most important thing to do at the beginning of these is to check whether you're in degrees or radians, and then to use V window to make sure that you've got the axes set up that you would like.